Welcome to the Rabia and Sana show. We're two Desi girls reinventing cultural norms with love to make difficult conversations easier to help you take courageous steps faster.
Whether you feel like a misfit now or have been breaking the standards, this podcast is for you, for the adults, the young. Come as you be and become your authentic self as you desire. Let's go reinvent some cultural norms together.
Hello everyone, I am Rabia Paracha. I have been a rebel without a cause for most of my life until I discovered my purpose to empower women to empower themselves. And that led me down a rabbit hole to become a life coach from CTI Coactive Coaching. And today I'm a mind and life power coach who helps people break free of their limiting cultural beliefs to find the life they love and the love of their life.
Hello everyone, I am Sana. I am from New Jersey, a Pakistani American. Professionally, I work in the clinical research field. And personally, I have always had this purpose of empowering women of South Asian culture to be able to live the life that they want to live and be true to themselves instead of what the culture expects them to be. And so here I am pursuing that purpose, and I am also studying to become a life coach. Let's get started.
Hello, amazing souls. Welcome to another episode of the Rabia and Sana show, the podcast where we reinvent cultural norms to elevate your mental, emotional, and relationship well-being. I'm Rabia Paracha.
And I'm Sana Shah. In this episode, we are talking with Riya Kapoor. She is a positivity and mindset coach, all while being a misfit in the Desi culture. Welcome, Riya. It's such an honor to have you on our show. Can you please tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Rabia and Sana. It's been a pleasure being with you guys and connecting with you guys. I am feeling so honored and humbled to be on your show. So I am Riya, more popularly known as Bubblicious as well as Melodious on Clubhouse. I'm a positivity coach, a life coach, an empath, and a healer. And I also call myself, and people call me the transformational coach and a mindset alterer. So yeah, I'm here on the divine path, following the divine guidance and literally transforming lives as and when I can, just doing my part. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. How lucky are people to know you and to be in your presence because you have such an impact on them. So that's incredible. And thank you so much for joining us today. And, as we get started, I remember reading in one of the messages that you had sent that you have felt like a misfit. So what I'd like to ask you is, from your experience, why it's important as a misfit to develop an understanding between what's a stereotype and yourself.
Great question. Yes. Talking about stereotypes, what is a stereotype? It's something that is believed to be true, and maybe it's being conditioned in a way that everybody's just following it. Maybe our ancestors did it. Maybe it's just being followed or conditioned into our minds since I don't know how many decades, how many centuries, and then people are just blindly following it. It takes courage. It takes the wisdom. It takes the connection and the alignment with your own soul. Everything is within. Even God, the Most High, is within. So it takes that work towards your soul to really, really question everything and decide to stick with the truth and not just blindly following whatever is being told to you. As we are born, of course, we are dependent on the parents, for our care, for love and affection. And a lot of things we learn from them. But yes, I'm very, very grateful for the family that I was raised in, because most of the value system, most of the mindset, and most of the thinking I probably got from them. And very grateful for the discipline, for the spirituality, for the positivity, for the way they brought me up. And even though since beginning of the time, I have questioned the smallest of the things, like, for example, in India, I'm born in India and raised here. When we go to a religious place like temples, whosoever is following whatever temples, churches, mosque, or whatever, depending on the religion or the culture that you're born in, especially during temples, or if you're visiting a temple. My mom used to sometimes say that, oh, wear a suit. It's like a traditional Indian dress. And I used to be like, why? Why do I need to do that? Because I think I always knew, and she never used to actually, by the way, force me to do that. But when probably I grew up a little to be, I was probably turning from a girl into a woman, maybe, a beautiful one. I don't know. That is when she started to say that, okay, why don't you wear something? And they never told me otherwise to do anything else. But then I remember that I did question, like, why? Why do we need to do that? Because if it's him and he knows everything, and if it's God, then he's not even looking at our clothes. Like, does he? Does he really look at our clothes to bless us? I don't think so. And I think when I used to say such things, they agreed, and they never said anything to me. And I decided not to probably go too much because I knew that he was right within me. So whenever I used to feel like going, I used to go. And touch wood, they never even forced me to follow any rituals or any fasting. In fact, it was most of the time the other way around. I've seen in India, especially mothers literally probably teaching their daughter, especially to, come in the kitchen, help. It was the opposite with me, by the way. My mom used to never let me enter the kitchen. If I'm sometimes feeling to help her, she'd just kick me. Oh no, I don't need you. Just go. So they made me independent right from the beginning. And when I actually left that house and I got married, I think that was the time I realized a lot of things which I didn't know because my family never ever even brought that up. But yes, whatever little questions I had, I always, still was a misfit. But my family really loves me even today and accepted me for who I am. They in fact enhanced whatever personality that I had, and trusted me, made me into this independent, bold girl. Because also probably coming from a family where my mom herself was an independent working lady during that time where the girls were not even like allowed to work. She comes from a generation like that. So most of the time I've seen literally the stereotypes breaking. My mom was working. I used to actually spend more time with my dad than my mom. And I was not seeing my mom that often because she even had night shifts because she was in a medical line.
You said a lot of things, so let's unpack all of this and go deeper in. From the sounds of it, it sounds like what you're saying about misfits is that you actually are an original person, you're authentic and embracing your uniqueness. And when you discovered that, that's when you realized you're not a misfit, you're somebody special. And that's what I'm hearing. And because there's so many stereotypes, and I love the way that you described your relationship with your family as well.
So, Riya, if we can pinpoint which stereotypes that you challenge, the ones that run really deep in our culture that you broke, if you can give examples and what were your challenges, the big ones?
Absolutely. So I think the biggest one that I have broken, and I'm currently living in that state, is, so I got divorced, and I'm still living with my in-laws. So yeah, that's the biggest one that I'm breaking, and I have broken, and I'm doing that currently. The moment, you are separated or you're divorced, the whole society, I mean, it's like, I don't even know the word. Everybody's like gobsmacked. What? How could you stay there? Why are you there? Still, what is wrong with you? Oh my gosh, I have gone through that whole journey. And couldn't explain the reasons because I think people are just coming from their conditioned selves and just randomly doing what's told to them. But um, the path of divinity is really very, very different from what a path of a human being or the materialistic society teaches us. So yeah, that's probably the biggest one. Also, not that big anymore. For example, when I was a little kid, I was hearing my friends, whenever there used to be a girl driving, oh, she doesn't know how to drive. I just within me thought that, okay, I'm going to break that. And today I have broken that as well. I think until unless they see inside that it's a girl driving, they are amazed at the driving skills and the parking skills that I've got. Nobody can beat me, and I can assure you of that. So yeah, breaking the rules and being a rebellion for a good cause, that's always been me.
Incredible, incredible. And doing all those things really requires a mindset to be positive and to be able to understand that there might be things that are, that are hurting you, and healing oneself in order to be what you're doing now, being a healer. So tell us, just to give us a baseline of what is mindset, what is positivity, and what does healing mean?
Amazing. Oh my gosh. Mindset is the way that we think, the way we perceive things, and each one's mindset can be so different. For example, there's one thing, one object, or maybe even a movie that we're looking at, and we all three of us are looking at it. Same scene, same dialogue, but we all three would have very, very different perceptions about it, or the way we three look at it would be so different. I would have something else. I would have caught hold of something else. You would have caught hold of something else, and um, you know, she would have caught hold of something else. So mindset means the way you choose to think. And I always use the word choose because there's always a choice. I think that is mindset, is how I would like to define that. How you think. What are your thoughts? Then the next question was positivity. How do I define positive? The capability to literally remain and look at the best of the things, even in the worst of the situations. And actually not just thinking, like believing, in it, that, oh my gosh, this is happening for my best. It might not seem so to the other, maybe to the whole world, maybe at times to your own self when we are very engrossed in a situation. But that is where it comes from. The mindset plays a big role. You detach yourself and then you see, and then you literally have the belief, and the faith that this is happening for my best. So positivity means making the best of even the worst of the situations. And I believe there is good and bad both. Bad is created by a human mind, as always. It's always the good. Like, how can the perfect creator create anything bad? It's us who are actually creating and thinking and living. Yeah, I find it very crazy, but that's how human beings operate.
And what about healing? What is healing?
Healing. Yeah, I think so. We talk about mind, body, and soul. So there could be healing on literally almost all the levels. If I go back in time, let's say, go to the Sat Yuga and, all those kind of yugs we talk about, there are 4 yugs, right? So going back to the times of even Sat Yuga, when, let's say, Lord Rama was there and Lakshman was fainted, like he fainted. I'm just quoting this incident. So Lord Hanuman had to go and pick up the whole mountain, cutting back all the other nitty-gritties and the details. There could be so many lessons from that. There was this plant that healed him. That was the body healing. Something happened to him. So healing is something that's been going on, and will continue to go on. So mental healing, for example, if you're emotionally, mentally, psychologically, something is going on, which is again more of a mindset play. Um, People go through trauma in today's times. Kali, it is so filled up with stress, anxiety, and depression. And oh my God, people are going through just so much that it's unfortunate also when I sometimes see humans not being human enough or not behaving like humans enough. But yeah, it's a sad reality. Can't deny that. So there are healings on mental levels. For example, just being kind. It all starts from within. If you're being kind to yourself, only then you can be kind to others. Uh, Love is the best medicine. I would say that it is the best healer. Um, and I don't think I do anything. I think it's the Most High through me doing it. And I feel that I'm this embodiment of love because that's all I know how to be, how to do. Uh, is just love. It is so pure that if you truly have it, if you truly feel it can just heal everything. It can heal your mind, it can heal your body, it can heal your soul to a level that you cannot even imagine.
Right. I was just going to wrap up the beautiful definition of mindset, positivity, and healing that Riya has just shared with us. So I think mindset is how we look at things and knowing how to make the choices to think in a certain way, in a way that works for us. And positivity is having an optimistic outlook that things will work out, that even things aren't good right now, they will work out. And healing is alignment between the heart, the mind, and the soul, that connection that makes us feel whole and complete, even though we are in every moment, but that feeling that aligns us. So I just wanted to sort of bottom line that, because those are incredible gifts that we have and you have to help people find that as well. So back to you, Sana.
Thank you so much, Rabia and Riya. Can we go a little bit deeper into some of the tips that you are sharing about the loving yourself and the kindness? How can we as Desis, right, and living in the Desi culture, knowing the Desi challenges, how can we do these things? How can we embody these things to have that positivity, to have that mindset? How do we go about it?
If you really want positivity in your life, the very first and foremost thing in today's Kali you got to do is stay away from negativity. And your body, I believe, is the first one to tell you, how you're feeling. We might ignore it. Your gut, your own gut feeling tells you immediately something is off. You would feel it in your gut, and your body will instantly tell you. For example, if you've spent time, with somebody, and after that, notice what your body is telling you. Is it feeling a little drained? Are you getting a headache? It just means, there are signs for you to kind of stay away from either those kind of company or environment, because it is not good for you. But you got to make that choice. You got to be strong enough and courageous enough to make those choices, initially, at least in life, because it takes a really, really strong spirited person to really even stick in those environments and stay positive in spite of the negativity all around 24/7. And I am a living, walking, talking example of that. Finding your own tribe, people who genuinely love you for you, wherein, God bless you, wherein you do not have to, you do not have to walk on eggshells or hide something. Like, you got to be completely open. If you think you have to hide something from someone just because, oh my gosh, they might react, they're not the people. No ways. And most of the people, I believe, today are living in such environments. Maybe that's why, maybe they don't even have the support system to, let them think in that way that, oh, you got to leave that. Very few people, especially in the Indian society, will support you. And we all know from inside, within ourselves, that what is right for us, what is not. What's making us feel happy and at peace, and what's not making us feel happy and at peace. So anything or anyone, surrounding you that you feel at peace with, you got to do more of that stuff. It could be as simple as drawing. It could be as simple as dancing. If that makes you feel good, just go out and do that. Just do things that make you happy from your heart and your soul. That's the key. Start doing more of it. Slowly and gradually increase and do more of things that make you happy. Stay away from the people that are draining you. There's just no point. Stay alone if needed. I truly believe in the quote that being alone is so much better than being in fake or a negative company, because, oh my gosh, how you're ruining your own life, for even your future, you have no idea. And you got to be your authentic self. Somebody who accepts you and love you for who you are, are the ones that you got to be with. But you got to be yourself if you really want to be free and happy. No
Right.
stress.
I love the fact that you're distinguishing between loneliness and solitude, being with yourself and connecting with yourself, which is what you're saying, is really helping us to heal and create that energy that we want, versus being surrounded by other people in their negative energy. But just want to add that research and science has proven that our default, we think 80% negative and 20% positive by nature. And that's because human beings at a certain point in their lives had to survive, right? It was about surviving. So naturally, we're hardwired for negative thoughts. But that is a gift, that we have the ability to choose which thoughts we think, and also what feels good. Because what you were talking about is, I don't like their energy, it doesn't feel good to me.
Yes.
And sometimes life just shows you a mirror. Where are you like that? And so if you want to heal, you've got to look at those parts and really come to terms with them. So I think that's just beautiful.
I just wanted to ask Riya a little bit more about that divine feeling that you mentioned a few times. Um, how does that feel like? And does that feel when you have that feeling, does that feel like you're being true to yourself and you're actually doing what you want to do or what is meant for you to do?
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a very interesting question. I would say the kind of journey that I've had and the whole of this journey that I've been through and still chose what my soul, what my literally inner conscious told me to do always, in spite of thousands of people and even my most loved ones telling me to do a certain thing. And I took time, I listened to them, and then I decided to listen to my inner conscious. And the inner conscious was completely, totally, or if I want to call it the divine, it was totally, totally different and opposite of what human beings were telling me to do. And there was a time in my journey, a lot of times, and a lot of experiences, by the way, because I think I had gone completely, I was in solitude for a long time by my choice. Because I just was not able to relate to people because I thought they're just not getting where I'm coming from. So I spent a lot of time, meditating with my own self, connecting with the source, I would say, which is the Most High, connecting with the divine, which has always played a very, very, very big role in my life since my childhood, literally. And I have had childhood experiences as well. Some other time we can share those. But in this journey, there was actually a time, and I'm going to share that, when when your loved ones tell you to do a certain thing and you know that they really love you, and there comes a time when they cannot even see you suffer. So they're coming from a place of love, but they could be wrong, or your path could be so different from the path of others. Actually, each one of us has a unique path, but we need to realize that. People don't realize that. They'll just blindly follow whatever's being told to them, whatever seems right, whatever the society is doing, and people are telling them from their experience. I think I decided to just listen here and listen to the divine. And there was a time when I'm a very stubborn, rebellious for a good cause. So I isolated. I even pushed back my whole family and I stopped talking to everybody. But then I thought to myself, okay, and I questioned him, the Most High. And I said that, do I need to change? Because not even one person is agreeing with me or is able to understand me. Where am I going wrong? Am I going wrong? And these are the questions I've always asked myself. In front of the world, probably I've always been this, oh, and yes, I'm fighting for my viewpoint. But they would just not hear me out this time, when this whole thing was going on. And then I questioned and I had tears in my eyes and I was like, am I wrong? Do I need to change, And I need an answer. And I'm also telling you one more thing, whenever, whatever you're seeking is seeking you. And I also believe in one more thing. I could never, and I don't have the audacity to ever question him, the Most High, because I believe, no, I can't do that because he knows the best. So I've always been in his, we call this word in Hindi called Raza, So I've always been in his guidance and in his hukum, so to say. So I asked him, very few times I've asked him, and trust me, whenever I've asked him, I've got my answers. So I asked him that, am I wrong? Do I need to change, And if you really think that I need to change, it was the question to him, a direct conversation with him, that if you think I need to change, then you know what? I don't think my inner conscious allows me to do whatever people are telling me. So if I need to change, for you, it's like this. You can do it like this. So just do it. Because, I've always been in your raza and I've always done what you have guided me to do, or maybe whatever the inner conscious has told me to do. So I could be wrong, definitely, because my loved ones are telling me certain things. So they can't be wrong because they really, really love me. So tell me. And the moment I asked that question, I had heard a voice and it said, no, you don't need to change even a thing about yourself. Only two options. Either you listen to them or you listen to me. Because whatever you're going through, everybody will be against you. But it is your choice. And I was like, I'm going to listen to you, not to the world. And it doesn't matter whether it's my parents, my siblings, my loved ones. I'm going to listen to you. It was the toughest decision and it's the toughest path because you can't, you have to survive in these people in this community. But I make that choice. And I think from that day on, even I think from the childhood, I was like, no, I'm not listening to human beings anymore. Even if somebody's telling me anything, I'm going to just take my time, process it, and then do what really, really he's telling me to do. I'm not going to go any other way. And it doesn't matter whether I'm, the journey could be a little delayed. The journey could be a little more painful, a little more, dull at times, and I might be a little bit more in pain, but I'm happy. Trust you me, even in this journey, I'm so happy because I know that I have to show, my face to him, not really to the people, because this all is so temporary. This life is so temporary. So yeah, we're all here for just a jiffy.
So that was just amazing because, being connected with yourself and also listening to that voice from within and connecting to source, that, and then having the confidence to follow that path in spite of all of what we hear from the outside, right? And this has been the journey of many, because that's similar to my experience as well. And sometimes we choose against the grain, we go against the grain because we just feel that it's the right thing to do. And that is true alignment and connection, and being able to stand alone takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of courage. So I'm sure in this path of getting to this place, you must have learned a lot of lessons. For someone who's listening, who feels like a misfit, what would you say to them? Top 3 lessons learned that you didn't know going into these experiences, something you came out with that you didn't have a knowing for from before. And the reason I'm asking you this is because sometimes we validate ourselves and make ourselves right. So it's a that self-proclaimed prophecy versus sometimes maybe even where you were proven wrong. And that would be the lesson learned. So just wanted to put that caveat there.
Oh, yeah, of course. The very first one would be I trusted someone like blindly, completely blindly. And I never, ever, ever in my life expected, that person to, lie. I have learned that people can pretend, and you could be too naive to get it. So listen to your gut feeling, because it'll always tell you something is off. And I decided not to hear it. So many times, so many times, so many times, so that the whole universe had to, or the most I had to literally turn my life upside down to make me realize that, oh my gosh, wake up. So I think that was the biggest ever lesson, that you have to listen to your gut feeling. I mean, don't be afraid of the people, external things. It's your life, you have the power and you have the choice. So take ownership.
And what about lesson number 2?
Lesson number 2, we have to live in the now. We cannot stick or live in the past or live in the future, because future has not come, past is gone. Like even the last minute is gone, you can't do anything about it. So the life is actually happening in the now, like right now. So life is in the now, just make the most of it. Do whatever your heart is telling you to do. Do not delay. If you want to talk to somebody, just pick up that phone and talk. Like if you want to apologize, just text, call. If you want to really dance your way and hard out, just go and dance. If you want to sleep, just sleep. If you want to rest, just rest. Do nothing, because life is literally in the now. So life is happening in the now. So that's the biggest lesson ever. And I would want literally everybody to realize this and remember this, that life is only and only in the now. You just cannot be tensed about the future or worrying about the past.
And what about the last biggest lesson, number 3 for today? I'm sure there were many more.
Oh, there are so many. Those who think that they're a misfit, actually they're not. They're actually needed on this planet Earth, because we have come here to fulfill a purpose. So those of you who think that, oh, nobody understands me, I don't fit into this culture, actually, we have decided ourselves. We did a soul contract before we came here that, yeah, we're going to go there and change the things for the better, because this planet Earth needs us, needs people like us more than ever. We are here to fulfill that. You're not a misfit.
I love that. I love that. You are here for a reason. So shine your misfit bright, because it's not that you don't fit in. You are meant to stand out. Beautiful. I loved how you explained those three incredible lessons from your life and your experience to our listeners, because there's someone out there who needs to hear this right now. So thank you
Thank you.
for giving them this gift and being able to share it with us today.
I love the
Thank
three
you.
lessons as well, Riya. Thank you so much for sharing. I want to celebrate your journey and celebrate everything that you're doing. You're living as an example, and you're an embodiment of positivity, of being a misfit, but still maintaining your mindset of positivity and moving forward. I just want you to share one tip as a society, as a Daisy society.
I would just say that society is made up of individuals, a lot of individuals together. So we really cannot, and I've also learned this lesson, and we all know that we can never have the actions of others in our control. We only have ourselves, our behavior, our words, our actions, our efforts in control. So trust you me, if the individuals, a group of individuals is building up a society, and if each one individual decides to do their role to support, the good things, the right things, the right means there's nothing right and wrong, I believe, but basic value of being a human, it's basic. There's just no beating that. So people have moved away and drifted away from the basics, of love, of humanity, of kindness. I think if each one of us as an individual decides today that no, no matter what, I'm standing up for the right. I'm standing up for my peace, for my joy. And if somebody can get inspired from my journey, I'm going to uplift others as well with me. So if each one of us decides to do that, no matter what the society is telling us, we need to have that discernment, and we will know that who's right and what's right, what's wrong at the basic core level. If we decide to do that, I think there could be, oh my gosh, it's a ripple effect, right? So one person does it, everybody does that, and it's a ripple effect. It's just bringing the transformational changes in the society as a whole. People really need to give good people a chance. What you guys are also doing is so, so amazing. I mean, it's beautiful the way you are doing this talk show, bringing people on board and talking about the journeys. I mean, I'm sure it's inspiring so many people, and you don't even know on what level. But this is going to stay forever. So whether today or whether tomorrow or whether years later, this is gonna work. And these are the changes that we are all making individually on our part. And if everybody decides to do that, like, just imagine the whole society actually gets transformed.
I just wanted to say that what you just said was so beautiful, and I really want to underscore this, is about the each individual in the society makes up the whole society, and each individual can take responsibility for making themselves healed, to putting their best step forward to finding their healing and peace, because peace is ultimately what you're saying, that healing brings about peace and joy. And if each of us does that as a society, it would just be natural to embrace those that are looking for it. But also, when we start doing these things, what we do shows up in our outer world as well. So if we start exuding peace and love and kindness and come from a place of healing, then you see
Yes,
others also coming from that place. And what we
yes,
focus on expands. So when everyone is focusing there, there's expansion. And we have a society that's then informed because they're seeing it and they're replicating it through education, through communication. So all of these things happen when we start looking in and being that individual, but then also recognizing that when 10 of us get together, it's a community. When hundreds of us get together, it's a society. And when millions of us get together, it's a world. And there are three of us here that are showing that.
exactly.
That's amazing.
Thank you so much. Riya, it's been a wonderful, wonderful conversation. It is so beautiful to have you on and to listen to your journey. Thank you so much for all of the work that you're doing. am really, really inspired by your journey as well. We started out by talking about stereotypes and talking about mindset and how you are a misfit. But then we talked about what are some of the stereotypes and how you have challenged them and how you have broke them. And what are some of the things that we can do as individuals and as a society together. So it was really, really beautiful. And I hope our listeners will really, really enjoy listening to you. So before we end, Riya, where can our listeners find you?
Oh yes, so you can find me on Insta, and my handle is @aneffulgence, and it is ANEFFULGENCE. You will see a very different side of my personality on Insta as of now, but it still brings you positivity if you see those musical Bollywood reels, because that's one side of me too. I love music. Music is my life. Then on Twitter, you can find me by the handle. Again, the handle is the same, Effulgence, and I'm also known as Bubblicious, which I vision this Bubblicious as a brand. You can find me on Clubhouse by the name Melodious. So yeah, these are three profiles that I'm active at, and yes, would love to help anybody and everybody who's willing to, join me in this journey, and they want to heal themselves. They want to embody their own truth. And they want to embody true love, because that's how we all heal. So yeah, I say that I'm an activator of truth and love in people. That's what I say, because I don't do anything otherwise. It's all in there, in everybody. They just need to activate it.
What an amazing message you're leaving our listeners with. Activate your truth and love. That's and healing. So that's just incredible. So thank you so much for being here with us today from India. And I know big time difference. So thank you so much for giving up a little bit of your sleep for us today. And it's been such a pleasure. So amazing to meet you finally after so many years of Clubhouse. And yeah, so we're at that time of our episode, Sana.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. We are two Desi girls
reinventing cultural norms.
With love.
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. See you next time.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Please rate, subscribe, and review wherever you listen to podcasts, and follow the Rabia and Sana Show on social medias.
Remember, you can watch the video version on YouTube, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.
If you want life coaching services, or you are reinventing cultural norms for yourself and think you would be a great guest and want to be on our show, please email contact@therabiaandsanashow.com.
And be sure to check out our next episode. See you next time.
See you next time.